Hello guys, once again this is Dechaos1 here, bringing you game number 6 of my Quest for Gold series. This map is Metalopolis, and I'm going to be spawning here in the top position as the red Zerg, sharp teeth as always, and over here in the right position I guess, we have our Protoss player, Spartan Arun, playing, he's Protoss and he's blue. I'm the guy I thought I played him earlier, but in fact this is my first game of the day, so that would have been impossible. Luckily for me, I sent my Overlord to scout in the correct position right away. See a little something I do here when I send my Overlord over. I basically, I get it. So I just have sight of the Nexus or whatever I'm playing against at that current time, and then I pull it away, and that allows me to have, I don't know, extra time before he realizes where I am, unless of course he sends his worker in really early. But he sends his worker in, he knows where I am. I'm like, alright, screw it, I'm just gonna send my Overlord down, see what kind of thing he's got going on down here. Basically I'm just searching for, is he just going for his gateway, cybernetics core? And it would have been a good idea for me to also send a drone in here, search with gas, because it's really important to know how many gas the Protoss player is getting out, so that way you noticed if he's getting Hydralisks, or not Hydralisks, sorry, but completely different race there. If he's getting Void Rays, because that can be really tough to deal with if you don't have the correct tech going on. As you can see here, throwing down my supply, or my spawning pool. I did go for a 15 hatch, 15 pool, and then 14 gas. This is a pretty economically safe build to go, I find. Yeah. I like doing this build. It's pretty safe usually. If you can get a spine crawler or two down on the low ground here, along with some Zerglings, and your queen, of course, you should have at the very least, one queen per hatchery. That little force there will be able to hold off most of what the Protoss player can go for, unless he's going for some ridiculous immortal zealot push, which I played against the other day, and let's just say that didn't end very well, which is why it's really important to scout the gas and see if he's getting both of them. You can see Protoss player immediately getting his warp gate tech. Very good. It's extremely important for all you Protoss players out there. I'm getting both my queens. The second one on my natural is a little bit behind, but that's alright. Won't make too much of a difference. The only thing that really matters is that I have it on the field. I did see probes coming out of his base with my Overlord while I was in there, but I didn't see them come into my base, so I immediately thought, alright, he's going to throw down a proxy. So as you kind of saw before, you saw my drone come up here. He was throwing down a pylon right here, but he canceled it because I saw it, and I easily could have got those 4 Zerglings up there and took it out without any sort of problems at all. He is going for a 4-gate, pretty standard for a Protoss versus Zerg, unless of course he scouts that I'm going for some crazy roach rush type thing. Then he'll get a robotics facility in Immortals, because Immortals do an insane amount of damage against armored units such as roaches. Yeah, basically this time I'm just droning up. I'm missing my inject here. Huge fail. I do throw down a couple spine crawlers just for defensive purposes, because I am spending a little bit more time droning up rather than building offensive units. Got the roach warren down. At this, I really should have an evolution chamber, or even both evolution chambers down at this point. Getting upgrades, because it's extremely important. There we go. Evolution chamber going down. Now this Protoss player is going for his proxy. Puts it in a really good position. He puts it right here. So he has access to this low ground, which is great. And he can run his units all the way around the back and into my base without having to deal with the spine crawlers in the front. A very smart move by him there. And of course, I do not scout it. I don't see it, but that's alright. He is moving out with a decent force of stalkers, bringing them the long way around, so I don't scout them and notice what's going on. Although I do send 2 Zerglings up here to check to see if he's got his natural yet, and I see that he doesn't, which means at this point I'm thinking to myself, alright, he's probably going to be getting some units because he doesn't have his natural, he's not expanding, he's not getting probes. I do have both of my upgrades going at the same time. My opponent here has his forge out. He hasn't started any of his upgrades for his units yet. Big mistake. If you're going to get that forge and you're not going for a forge expand or any type of shenanigans like that, then you should definitely have your attacks started immediately. Now, he did warp some zealots down on the low ground here. I took them out without any sort of problems at all. I do see the stalkers, so at this point I do know he has a pylon there. Getting my injects, getting roaches and zerglings. Zerglings, of course, to deal with the stalkers, and roaches to deal with the zealots. And exactly this is what I said he was going to do, just go around the outside, avoiding the spine crawlers in the front of the base. Now I do position this one behind the naturals mineral line just a little bit, just for some extra defensive purposes. These roaches are doing loads of damage. My upgrades are just about complete, and I have another 4 roaches on the way. Meanwhile, my opponent here is getting absolutely nothing. I have I had loads of minerals. Definitely don't want to be getting that high. My opponent here has lots of gas. He only has 1 sentry on the field. Yeah, only 1 sentry. Now, with this amount of gas and that amount of minerals, he should be able to get way more sentries than that. And sentries are really great. Got to get those force fields down, and force fields are absolutely key to every single any sort of Protoss army, because Zerglings and roaches will just walk all over you if you don't have those force fields to defend yourself. Yep, so after that attack, he went off and expanded. Now, I don't know if I agree with that move, seeing as he really didn't do a lot of damage to me. The only thing he stopped was my drone production, which I really felt that in the natural. I know you didn't see that, but in the natural it was really not saturated. Or not the natural, but the main, sorry, really wasn't saturated enough. He's got pretty good saturation though. He is working off both gases at this point, which is of course what you want to be doing. Again, no upgrades for his units. That's going to put him at a really big disadvantage, seeing as all of my roaches are 1/1 and my zerglings have just the 1 defense, which makes them very, very good against stalkers with no upgrades. I do end up getting a kill with that zergling there, little probe kill. You know, it's worth it. It's like 25 minerals for 1 zergling, 50 minerals for the 1 probe. Very worth it in my opinion. I do have a second queen in the low ground here. It's spreading creep. Now I don't even think he transferred drones down to his expansion here. Definitely should have, because you really don't want to mine out your main before you get this fully saturated. That's a huge mistake. He's not really walling off. I would definitely be walling off. And he doesn't throw down any more gates. He's only getting his 1 attack now. I am going for my +2 attack, getting lots of well, not lots, only 4 overlords. Need that supply. With his second expansion here, he should easily be able to throw down a couple robotics facilities. He knows I'm going primarily roach heavy, so you want to get those immortals out, but he doesn't get the robotics facilities, and he doesn't bother putting down any more gateways. He's only got the 1 robotics facility going down. If he's running off a 2 base, he should be able to have 2 robotics facilities and like 5 warp gates, and he should be able to produce units steadily through that with 2 fully saturated bases. So he is running low on minerals here, and I do go in for the engagement. I see he doesn't really have too much. He's got that. He finally has some decent amount of sentries, but it's a little bit too late. He definitely should have walled off his front area here, so I'd be forced to go around where he could just wall me off with the force fields from this side. I take out the Nexus. That goes to that expansion. Now, even if I decided to just back up and not worry about continuing this fight here, I would have been in an excellent position. Because I have an expansion fully saturated. I don't have them on my gas just yet, which is a huge mistake. I completely take out his natural, and there's the GG. He's left the game. Very nicely mannered. I like that. That's what I like to see when I'm playing a game. But at this point in time, if you look at my minerals versus my minerals and my gas, I have loads of gas. I definitely should have expanded. Maybe grab a couple more queens. Just start spending all that stuff. Now I am short on gas, but that's because I got these 2 extractors up, but I didn't saturate them, which is a gigantic mistake on my part. I do have my infestation pit down. I was going for my hive tech. Probably gonna grab some ultralisks just for fun or something like that. Always fun to use. And yeah, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the game. If you enjoyed the game and you're enjoying this series so far, remember to subscribe. Helps me out, helps you guys out. And if you have any suggestions, make sure you post them down in the comments below. It's all much appreciated. I read all of the comments all the time, and I try to reply to them whenever I can. And alright, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.